This episode is brought to you by Novilla Mattresses. When it comes to your mother, you want her sleeping in a comfortable bed. When she's with me, she won't have to worry about that because I sleep on a Novilla mattress. Let me tell you, when your mom is at my place, she is sleeping on a very comfortable mattress and she is going to get you one as well. Meet their Bliss Organic Memory Foam Mattress. Perfect for those who want a cool, dry, undisturbed sleep throughout the night, made with organic bamboo charcoal fiber, excellent motion isolation, cooling gel-infused memory foam that fits all bed frames and is reasonably priced. Perfect for if you want an inexpensive mattress for you, your children, or even for your guest room. It comes in a box delivered right to your door, and you get 100 nights to try it out. Skip that trip to the big box mattress store and get a mattress from Novilla. Throw out that cheap Walmart mattress you got in college and get yourself a mattress made by Novilla. Using promo code Schweezy or the link in our description, you can save 10% on any purchase through Novilla directly. Try out the mattress that your mom tried out last night. Again, that's 10% off using promo code Schweezy. And a reminder, when you use our links, you directly support this show. Hello, and what is going on, my fellow Schwoke Lords? What is up? Welcome to yet another episode of Cancel Schweezy, better known as the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. Welcome to the show today. I don't think we've made a better episode than the one we're about to make today. Let's just be honest. I've been thinking it over, been looking through every podcast that we've ever made, and I can't imagine any podcast that isn't the one we're making today is going to be any better than the one we're making today. Welcome to the show. Do I want that? Yeah, I don't want that in the frame. Just cut it off. I'm wasting away again. If you're watching the video, I'm holding a margarita, very sad looking old no eyes, or not like a slushy or whatever. We're wasting away again on Cancel Schweezy. That should be another way. We're wasting away again in Cancel Schweezy. Fucking we're just wasting away again. I've been using wasting away as like a thing. It's like hey, I'm in your driveway wasting away again. It's just like you just use that as a verb, or not a verb, as a sentence. That's wrong and also correct at the same time. Welcome to the show, folks. It's been a long weekend. I'm tired, and but no, the show must go on.
What?
That's what we're here today to bring you top tier Cancel Schweezy's top tier podcast, the greatest podcast, the Lord's trademark favorite podcast, the only podcast making you think about how all women share a hive mind. That's true. Don't at me on that. And if you are new to hearing that knowledge, I'm just excited to be the one to tell you all women share a hive mind. That's why all women seem to be into the same thing, and all women don't have the same preferences as every other woman. Welcome to the show today. I'm Schweezy. Welcome to the show.
And I really like that.
Really like that you're here today on the show listening to us over on Cancel Schweezy. Make sure you go check out my music. It's under Schweezy. Right now I am working on a release for later this year, so that's going to be really cool. It's been like a year of like nothing. I always try to like keep a little bit updated, something new, at least like one thing, something new, keeping going for you. But right now, I just have one surprise coming up, so make sure you follow that on wherever you stream your music. That way you get notified whenever I go ahead and let you know what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? God damn it. Anyways, go check that out. You can also check me out on social media. It's at TheSchweezy, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok as well. I do post frequently to TikTok, so that's really cool. So definitely go check me out over there. That's a great way to say, hey, what's up? How you doing? And
I really like that.
So I like that. That soundboard's like louder in my ears. So it's going to be the same volume in your ears, but it's like different volumes in my ear. Yeah, you can jump me social media, another social media type thing. Twitch, I stream at twitch.tv/TheSchweezy every Thursday. I'm playing a new game. I've been playing a lot of Fall Guys lately, and I think this Friday I am going to have to switch it up. I haven't decided what I'm going to play yet. I might continue a game that I started. Sometimes I start a game, and then the next week I just don't play that game anymore. And I was like, I haven't finished Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, Mario Sunshine I need to finish and stuff like that. But yeah, no, there's plenty of things. So much to do, so much to see. So it's wrong with taking the back streets. So yeah, so I itch my hair and then have to adjust it. Yeah, that's a great thing. On Amazon, I mean not Amazon, on Twitch, following anyone's for free, and then subscribing to someone's usually some sort of financial thing. What you can go ahead and do is if you have Amazon Prime account, connect that, and you get a Twitch Prime. You basically have Twitch Prime where you can subscribe to someone for free, and that financially supports a creator over on Twitch. And you're already paying for Amazon Prime. Why not help support me and this show with as much as you can? All right.
I like that.
You can also, so yeah, that's a great thing. Another way to financially help support us, our Patreon page, great way, it's a tip jar right now. It's a great way to say thank you for being a friend and be cool. Let's travel down this road and back again. You know, your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. But there's a ton of free shit you're going to be able to also go ahead and do if you want to be cool. And free shit is always cool shit. That's just a great way to help support anyone. You're like, yeah, I'd like to support someone. I'll just press one button and I can really support someone. Make sure if you are watching on YouTube or if you are listening to this show, you can always go to our YouTube page specifically and go ahead and make sure you subscribe to our show on YouTube. Even if you don't really listen to the podcast on YouTube or listen/watch the podcast on YouTube, you can make sure you go ahead and subscribe on YouTube as well, because we are trying to infiltrate that algorithm, because there's a lot of cool things that can happen with the show if we can really take off on YouTube. And also what I do on YouTube is I go ahead and post the highlights from the show. So say I talk about something that's kind of funny or very interesting topic to talk about, and instead of having to send your friend like the audio of the podcast and like a clip, you know, and be like, go start at this time marker and end at this time marker, you can just send them the highlight and it'll be like 5 minutes, sometimes less than that, to worst it will be 20 minutes, and then your friend can be like that and you can have discussions. I've our friend Josh Casey, author of Tracking Desire, A Journey After Swallowtail Kites, is going to be a teacher. I'm not going to tell you what school he is, okay? I'm not going to give information away about children. But author Josh Casey of Tracking Desire, Journey After Swallowtail Kites, he's teaching, and so it's given me the idea to create lesson plans, like guided lessons plans. So like, you know, how like Scholastic does like questions and guided lessons, you know, for like when you read a book with students. I was thinking maybe do that with this podcast, you know. Elementary school students can keep up. It's like, why, what did I talk about? It's like, what is wrong with daughter swap on Pornhub? The problem is that two friends are fucking each other's daughters right in front of them, and that's weird. Like, that's a good lesson plan for kids. Yeah, but so you have that as well. And obviously, if you are on the audio platforms, make sure you give us a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 star rating and leave us a review. All of those things are ways to help support the show, help keep us going, and help make better stuff. The better we do, the better stuff we can do. Better content I can create, the more I can do, and the more I can see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't go. Never shine if you don't glow. So let's take a drink. Margarita. We're wasting away again. I'm drinking a margarita. Hopefully you're drinking a margarita. Unless you're like in the morning and you're like driving. Probably don't be drinking fucking margaritas on your way to work. Margaritas really are like the, hey, don't drink this on the way to work kind of alcohol. Especially tequila. Don't drink tequila at work. Like whiskey, vodka. Those are workplace drinks. Okay? Beer's a little different too. Don't drink beer either. All right, anyways, here's to, oh no, we have to do with this. We can't say that Seinfeld. We have to.
What you ready to get fucked up?
Whew. It's one of those bottled. And it's pineapple. I'm like ready for the lime. I was like, oh, it's pineapple. Some lady later is going to be very lucky to be with me. Anyways, so let's get into previous week right now. Previous week right now is the news, the real news, the news that the real mainstream media doesn't want you to know. even though I am literally just reading news articles I find online. But I just feel like, there's a lot of fake news. There's a lot of negativity, which sometimes we have to go over the negativity. I do like to end things on positive stuff, but I think with what I like to do with previous week right now is really go over what is the most important thing that I should be going over that happened in the previous week, but I need to go over it right now. That's kind of what previous week right now is about. It's about all the things I feel like the world needs to know that happened this week that no one else is talking about except for me and sometimes other people and sometimes the actual news. So let's just jump right into it.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
For everyone fucking, I don't know. All right. From our friends over at Fox 10 Phoenix, our friends meaning no affiliation at all. Man arrested for child's brutal murder tells judge he needs to get out of jail to start new job.
That's rough, buddy.
A Michigan man accused of murdering a 2-year-old girl before dumping her badly beaten body at the hospital told a judge during his arraignment that he needs to be released from jail to start a new job. Jesus Christ. God, what fucking...
That's rough, buddy.
That's not it.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'll play myself. God damn, why did I read this? Aaron Joseph Trout, 31, of Glenny, was arrested Friday and charged with 1 count of murder in connection to the suspected beating death of a 2-year-old girl who was not his daughter. Michigan State Police were asked by the Alpena Police Department for assistance with the investigation after a woman was dropped off at a hospital Friday morning seeking medical attention for the toddler. After investigators identified the girl's residence, Trout was identified as a suspect. Icona County Prosecutor Tom Weichel told Alpena News that Trout likely dropped the woman and girl at the hospital, then fled the area. He said it appeared the child sustained fatal injuries several days prior before being brought to the hospital, but the results of the autopsy remained pending. Besides saying the girl was not Trout's daughter, Weichel said he could not disclose the nature of the relationship between the woman, girl, and now the accused murderer. The suspect was located and taken into custody in Alcona County following a coordinated effort of members of Michigan State Police, Alpena Post, Michigan State Police, West Branch Post, Alcona Sheriff's Office, Oscoda Township Police Department, U.S. Forest Service, Michigan DNR Conservation Offers, and members of the Michigan State Police Emergency Support Team. According to a state police statement, he was later booked into Lasco County Jail. Appearing virtually in 81st District Court on Monday, Trout told Alcona County Laura A. Frawley that we needed to be released from jail to start a new job on Wednesday. Alpena News reported the judge was not sympathetic and denied bond, citing Trout's prior history of criminal assault, resisting police, failing to appear in court, and substance abuse. His next scheduled court appearance is on August 3rd. The judge said he is prohibited from using the internet and cannot contact the victims' families. He may make phone calls while jailed, but must first request and receive permission. All right, so... That bummed me the fuck out. Do I have anything that's actually good? The only one, the guy's like, that's rough, buddy, and you played yourself. I like how he's been like, I'm gonna start a new job. Like, first of all, it sounds like he had previous things with the law. And typically, I'm gonna be honest with you, most jobs don't like to hire felons. Luckily, I don't know what the race of this man is, so I can't be racist. So take that, fucking liberals. Oh, I don't know. I'm voting tomorrow, and I don't know who to vote for, so I'm just going to be voting liberal. Fucking just voting blue all the way down. I'm like, fuck conservatives. First of all, his last name is Trout. I like how, I'm just like, he murdered a child, pretty badly. I'm like, his last name is Trout. Like that. I like how that's my first reaction.
What?
A 2-year-old, I guess I get why you'd beat a 2-year-old. I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying, I get it. But it doesn't sound like he did it because she was just annoying him. He beat the other woman too, right? How did this, god damn, dude. See, the thing with 2-year-olds is worst case scenario, you just lock them in a room. Relationship between the woman, girl, and now the accused murder. Man, this is kind of a bummer news. All right, let's stop talking about the bummer stuff in this. Let's talk about the things that make me laugh. I just enjoy. He's just like, hey, can I get out of jail? I'm going to start a new job soon. Buddy, you murdered a child. You're not going to have a job for that much money. I don't know why you're thinking, like, I need to get to this job. Like, fucking, got to work on my career, man. You know, I'm not going to be in prison forever. If I have this job on my resume, then at least when I get out of prison, I'll have at least some references. I at least want to be good. I was like, I don't think, he should probably call it. I'm like, probably needs to call me, like, I don't think I'm going to be making it in to this job. Why? Well, I brutally murdered a 2-year-old, and meaning I won't be out on the streets. I'm kind of in the middle of something right now. What the fuck? How do you just... I guess I just kind of like realized there's like always these like people, you know, we all kind of know like a kid in like from our childhood who's like the kid. Now as an adult, you're like, that kid was destined for jail. Like, you know, I've seen a couple of friends' brothers from like who are in jail, or maybe some just got out, but like have been in jail and have served some time and have done way sketchier things before they got in jail. And you're like, as an adult, you're like, yeah, that's that kid who's just destined for jail. Then you meet some kids you think are destined for jail, and like they're not like doing good, but like at the same time they're like, I'm surprised you're not in prison right now. That's very strange. Yeah. Anyways, don't murder kids. That's bad. Okay. Let's move on. Let's take a sip. Let's take a little trip down to Waste Away again. Nothing like a fucking metal straw to ruin your teeth. All right, here we go from CBS News. Very interesting article, or a story I've kind of been following, but kind of interesting to see where this is. Kentucky Noah's Ark sues insurance company over damage caused by heavy rains. In the Bible, the Ark survived an epic flood, yet the owners of the Kentucky's Noah's Ark attraction are demanding their insurance company bail them out after heavy rains caused nearly $1 million in property damage. The Ark Encounter says in a federal lawsuit that rains in 2017 and 2018 caused a landslide on its access road. The lawsuit says the road has been rebuilt. The Ark was not damaged. The Courier-Journal reports the attraction's insurance carriers refused to cover the damage. However, the 510-foot-long wooden Ark has been a popular Northern Kentucky attraction since its 2016 opening. Answers in Genesis, the company that operates the Ark Encounter, also operates the Creation Museum in Petersburg, which opened its door in 2007. The suits named Allied World Assurance Company Holdings of Switzerland, its use company, and 3 other insurance carriers. Ark Encounter seeks compensatory and punitive damage. The Swiss company had responded in court filings. So I remember, like, when I heard the article, it was like, yeah, the Ark Encounter in Kentucky has flooded. It said, I guess they don't have any damage, but they said it had to flood, survived an epic flood, yet their insurance company, but from heavy rain, like, I mean, let's take the Ark story as like it's a real story. Like, the actual Ark is gonna get some damage on it. Like, don't boats just get damage on it just from use? Like, where like cars get damage just from wear and tear. Like, in using a car, like you can comes with damages that happen to it. That's just how things work. You know, I play guitar, and so like just playing guitar, like the guitar gets damaged. The strings break. Sometimes electronics go bad. Weather can happen, so wood can do weird ass shit. Things happen, so like it's not surprising that, like, if the story of Noah, if you believe it literally, the idea that Noah's Ark like stayed in pristine condition, like it probably had some damage on it. Let's just be honest. But let's also think here, if the Ark, when it rained 40 days and 40 nights, the whole world was flooded. If it was flooded, isn't it what happens when boats flood? Like, I assume they could live with a little bit of water in there, but if it's like, but this is like 40 days of just fucking water coming into this shit. It's not gonna do good. So it's funny how this whole attraction was built in the idea that we're gonna build a rebuild Noah's Ark, like down every specification that the Bible says. exactly what it is, so everyone can see how big it is. And it just in the historical context, because consider your belief in God, or whatever. A lot of parts of the Bible are historic in some in some construct, because it's like saying King David existed. Like we know that. A lot of people have written down like the idea of a man named Jesus, whether it could have been multiple guys, could have been one guy, yada yada yada, whatever you want to believe. There's that idea too, and like kings of Israel, like that stuff is written down. Like things that are like written down properly and shit like that, tend to be real to some extent. However, though, this Noah's Ark stuff was like more than likely, because I think Moses wrote Genesis technically, and probably how Moses heard it was like verbally down from generation to generation. So I don't know if they had the specifications of how this ark was supposed to be correctly. Regardless of that, though, so that could be a problem too. They may not have built it correctly. Anyways, though, I think it's funny because they came out with this ark exhibit. They're like, they had the balls to say that, hey, this boat was created, or the ark was created specifically from the Bible, and it did survive 40 days and 40 nights, and then however the fuck long it took for the water to actually go back down and for there to be land again. They said this would survive that in that case, and then it wouldn't. And we know it wouldn't. And they're like, just in case, let's get insurance. They're like, they had the balls to say that, but they're like, we do need to get like property insurance for like property damage and stuff like that. We should probably get that too, just in case. Because I would think if an actual flood happened, I think that thing would fucking break immediately. Funny enough, they got insurance, because I would have. They talked it up, but they don't have the balls. They'd be like, let's just get insurance. Like, I know if you have like employees, like you gotta get insurance for that shit, but like they're like property damage, like really don't have the balls for that. Anyways, though, it's pretty funny that it flooded, and now they're trying to get money back from damages.
And I really like that.
Speaking of,
and I really like that.
Here's one from our good buddy Garth, from our friends over at the Dallas Morning News, meaning we have no affiliation. Did Garth Brooks stand much of a chance as a pro athlete? Well, he's a good singer.
What?
Okay. We don't know if he was a good athlete or not, but he is a good singer. There's no fucking shit. Okay? In April, Garth Brooks used a football analogy in promoting his stadium tour stop, which will be at AT&T Stadium Saturday in Arlington. Bring your helmets. This will be fun. Brooks said it's also appropriate for Brooks in particular. He was an athlete in high school and college in Oklahoma, and even signed and participated in spring training with the San Diego Padres in 1999, 1998 through 1999. At 60, Brooks doesn't do the acrobatic moves on his entrances much anymore, but he does engage fans, which in a stadium setting with tens of thousands in the crowd isn't easy. Brooks is returning to North Texas for the first time in 7 years. He'll play before a sold-out crowd at a stadium where his alma mater, Oklahoma State University, played for the Big 12 Conference Championship in December. It's his first time headlining AT&T Stadium. In previous tour stops, Brooks has taken a sports-centric approach with his crowds. Few besides his hardcore fans know about his time as an athlete who played football and baseball and participated in track and field. Here's a review of Brooks' athletic career. He nearly quit as a high school quarterback. Brooks was a quarterback at Yukon High School during his senior year. The team started 0-5, and Coach Milt Bassett told Brooks that the team was going to rebuild with a younger quarterback. I went to one of his concerts in Texas after he had already made it big. Bassett told the Oklahoman in 2012, we got in through the back door, and he told me something about how I impacted his life. Garth told me at the concert, do you remember when I came over and said I was going to quit after that? I said, yeah. He said, you won't let me. It changed my life. He was a good kid with a good family. Yukon, hashtag, okay, perhaps Garth Brooks was QB1 for the Millers, coached by Milt Bassett, ran track specializing in the javelin, which earned him a scholarship to Oklahoma State. Brooks participated in baseball, basketball, and graduated in 1980. Hashtag OK Fine Arts at Garth Brooks at UConn High School. I was at the game, May 17, 2022, but could he have played for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Even though Brooks is playing in the Dallas Cowboys' home stadium, would his professional football aspirations have been to wear the team's silver and blue? Not too much, Brooks told a Sirius XM college sports talk show this year that he had another team in mind. Actually, I would have played for the Pittsburgh Steelers and played both sides because I love playing defensive and as well, Brooks said. All right, and just another weird day from Garth. Could Garth have done it? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't. They said like he could have gone. See, I wish my dad was still alive. I'm like, do you think Garth? Let's look at Garth's stats. Do you think he could have done good? Because he would have been like, he'd be brutally honest about that shit. That's for sure. And let's see here. He's such a good entertainer. Like, I just feel going pro in entertainment and in sports is so weird because if you're good enough, you could technically just make a living doing. It's hard, but like, I mean, you could technically make a living. Let me think more here. I'm just thinking out loud at this point. Music, like, you can make a living. Like, you play in cover bands. You could try to get on a cruise ship and stuff like that. Like, you'll never be Garth Brooks level, but you could easily make a living in music. You really got to hustle, but you can actually make a pretty good living, stuff like that. But you're, like, playing covers, and a lot of times you're playing for ass people. You know, like, the gigs are ass and shit like that. Football, though, like, you have to be really good and stuff like that. Get sponsors. Maybe make it on a team. I know with track, you got to run. Track is a whole different thing because there's no teams. Well, there's college teams, but I think, like, once you go to pro, you're not really on a team anymore. You're more just a solo artist in regards to that. Because I think my dad, when his school went to a different conference, it wasn't really a big deal for him because in track, they don't really stick to who's in whose conference and stuff like that all the time for meets. They just do whatever they want. So, do I think Garth I think Garth probably had a better chance in music than he did with sports. I will just say that. Me and a friend rewatched the Garth Brooks The Road I'm On last night because we're just watching how cringy he is, and he's just like, I don't know who these girls are, but I'm about to find out. I'm like, Garth, these are your children. Calm down. Anyways, though, Garth, still fucking weird. I'd probably play for the Steelers. I love doing both ends, you know? And it's like, I heard from people, like, Garth doesn't hate anyone. Like, you can't hate anyone when they're dead. Garth, where are the bodies? What fucking happened to my dad, Garth? Give us an alibi where you were April 15th, 1958 through April 14th, 2022. We just want an alibi, Garth, okay? If you give me an alibi, guess what?
And I really like that.
Just saying. Last article we have today from Mexico News Daily. Veracruz woman gets her last wish, a giant penis to adorn her grave.
What?
A Veracruz woman got her dying wish last Saturday when a giant penis sculpture was erected atop her gravestone at Ignacio Zaragoza Miss Antla Catarina Orduna, called Dona Cata, by friends and family, was surely laughing in her grave, as she often did in life, according to her family, at the sight of onlookers taking photos with the larger-than-life penis that now decorates the local cemetery. Dona Cata was known for her humor, sharp tongue, and sometimes racy conversations. She was a longtime political activist and could often be found talking to local politicians both during their campaigns and after they won. According to her family, she lamented the fact that there were so many public monuments to politicians, lawyers, doctors, and teachers, but none to the penis, a reproductive organ she considered worthy of honor and reverence. She even believed that the penis should have its own holiday when it's important as a tool of pleasure could be celebrated by all. Her family said that Dona Cata was never embarrassed by talking about sex and didn't believe that others should be either. The woman requested before she died that they erect the penis sculpture atop her grave to remind all who knew her of her joyful and playful character in life. These sculptures were created by architect Isidro Lavognet. I didn't know French accent is probably Spanish. And well received by the cemetery, according to the family. They said they knew of no other monument quite like it in another cemetery in the country. Dona Catorita was born in 1921 and lived to 100. She had 9 children and many grandchildren, one of whom, Alvaro Mota Limon, went on to be the mayor of Mislanta in the early 2000s. So I love ending with a very positive article today. And this was just, let's just be honest. Like, this is a woman being like, the penis is hilarious. And, women are like, why are men so obsessed with penis? Not like in the gay way, but like we just draw, like, it's fun. You just get a pencil, you just draw a penis. It's fun, put some hair on it. It's fun. I don't know. There's something about the penis. I mean, the vagina is the better sex organ. I'm not saying anything that, like, men are better than women or penis havers are better than vagina havers. I'm just saying the vagina is the better sex organ because it has a lot of more functions. But the penis is just goofy and it's fun to just mess around with, like, I know some chicks are like, ew, I don't want to touch a penis until, like, she has to, and some women are like, okay, and just, like, jerking her, it's not even sexual, they're just, like, rubbing it, like, it's, like, putting their hand on, like, okay, that's like a fucking fidget spinner or some shit, not fidget spinner, like a fidget toy or some shit like that. It's funny, penises are funny, I don't think, like, don't decorate your fucking house in penises, but it's pretty funny when you're like, yeah, I'm gonna put my gravestone, because I always thought, like, a statue of Shrek, like, so people know to stay off my swamp, and stuff like that. I always thought that would be funny, but I don't know, it could be a little trashy. Like, you gotta, with the penis stuff, there's you gotta be classy about it, and I think the way this chick did it was very classy. And Dona Cata, I very much respect you. From now until the end of time, always. Have you ever been out in public and thought, hey, look at that fat guy, only for it to turn out to be a mirror and you are in fact the fat guy? That was the moment that kickstarted me into becoming the greatest health expert the world has ever seen. But I wasn't born being built different. Like Joe Cocker before me, I get by with a little help from my friends. And my friends happen to be today's sponsor, FNX Fitness. FNX Fitness is committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality that provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support an active lifestyle for years to come. I also really enjoy their clothing line that makes you look good while you work out as well. Another thing I love about FNX Fitness is that with every purchase, they donate a gallon of water to a child in need. Start working out smarter, not harder, by using the link in our description today. You can save 15% on your purchase. Go save 15% on some of the best supplements out there when using the link in our description. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. When you're at the beach, you aren't going there naked, letting everyone see your little shrunken PP from being in the water. No, you're wearing some sort of clothing to cover up your privates. So why would you let companies you buy products from have access to the privates of your credit cards? That's where today's sponsor, Privacy, becomes the clothing for your credit card information. Privacy is the first payment product that keeps your personal information private while being even more convenient than using a physical payment card online. Privacy empowers you to protect your physical card information. Each merchant you share your card information with puts you more at risk to hackers or data breaches. Why not use a privacy card instead? By creating a virtual card with privacy for each merchant you shop with, your physical card is safe and secure. Privacy cards can be paused or closed at any time, preventing any future transactions from being authorized. Privacy cards can also be single-use, meaning they close after just one authorized transaction. One of my favorite ways to use privacy is for a service with a free trial that requires you to put in a credit card to sign up. But wait, there's more. By using the link in our description, you can get $5 to spend anywhere. That's money you get to use. So start paying the smart way with Privacy. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. So it's time for a segment called Christian Cringe. Christian Cringe is mainly I go on the internet, find whatever the fuck Christians are doing these days, and talk about it a little bit to see what bullshit they're doing these days. So without further ado, let's get into it. This article is called from Relevant Magazine. Just If you don't know who Relevant Magazine is, Relevant Magazine, it's basically a Christian magazine that really tries to be hip, but you can't really be hip and Christian because you're either very racist, homophobic, and racism and homophobia, and it's not very cool. Being Republican is not very cool these days. So this was written by Tyler Huckabee. It came out August 1st today. I'm recording this. Do we have a... Yep, we gotta go over this. Tyler Huckabee is Relevant's senior editor. He lives in Nashville with his wife, dog, and Twitter account. He lives with his Twitter account. Tyler Huckabee lives in Nashville, which, God forbid, fucking my place, my home, with wife, dog, and Twitter account. Fuck. He lives with his wife, dog, and Twitter account. Anyways, though, so luckily they didn't show anything that he is racist, and it's not a woman, because women are not allowed to speak in church. They're not allowed to speak. They have to ask their husbands if they have any questions, but they're not supposed to speak out or be the teachers. So just remember that. So, yeah, like I said, this article is called No Christian Nationalism. I need to fucking read correctly. No, Christian nationalism isn't just loving God and country. Last week at the Turning Point USA conference, Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene called on the audience of mostly young conservatives to embrace Christian nationalisms. I don't know how she talks. I'm a Christian. How many Christians do we have here? She asked the crowd. See, I also count myself as Christian nationalist, and that's not a bad word. That's actually a good thing, right? To underscore the point, she started selling Christian nationalist t-shirts on her website. The godly stuff is relentlessly attacking me for my Christian faith. I am a proud Christian and a proud American, she wrote on Truth Social. That's why I am a proud Christian nationalist. Many Christians, including some here at Relevant, have written extensively about the growing threat of Christian nationalism and why Christians in America should oppose it. But Greene is echoing a theme sweeping certain corners of far-right conservatism where the idea seems to be that if you can't beat the Christian nationalist rap, you might as well embrace it. There are a few things going on here, but let's make one thing clear. Christian nationalism is bad. Okay, good job, Tyler. I agree with you. There was a time fairly recently where this would have not been a controversial thing to say, and just because it is growing controversial now or sees to be in one way politicized is only proof that we need to reaffirm it. Nobody, least of all Christians, should support Christian nationalism, and if Christian nationalism is having a little moment on the extremist fringes, then Christians should lead the way in stamping it out and erecting guardrails to make sure the church understands such ideology is beyond the pale. One of the ways Christian nationalism is making inroad is through redefinition. Some people say Christian nationalism is just American patriots espousing conservative viewpoints, and what's so bad about that? Well, if that's what all Christian nationalism was, then of course it wouldn't be a cause for alarm. But that has never been the definition of Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism isn't just a Christian being proud of their country or holding conservative views. It's when biblical teachings is mixed with the principles of constitutional democracy until the line between them is blurred or even erased altogether. When this happens, being a good American is seen as part of being a good Christian, and vice versa. Such anyone who isn't American isn't living the Christian life as fully as they could be, and anyone who isn't a Christian certainly isn't an American as they should be. Christian nationalism is not the same thing as patriotism or being patriotic, Amanda Tyler told us in 2018. I am a patriot. We can be patriotic and still understand that we don't need to minimize our religious convictions or somehow make those fit into a particular political affiliation or nationalistic affiliation. Tyler is the executive director of the Baptist Joint Committee, and she has helped mobilize a diverse group of Christians to take on Christian nationalism. According to her, combating Christian nationalism isn't just good for democracy, it's good for the church too. Whenever the state gets too cozy with Christianity, Christianity is the one that gets compromised, she says. Our radical Christian values are not in line with the powers and principalities of this state. Jesus taught us that we are citizens of two kingdoms, an earthly kingdom ruled by our governments and God's kingdom. We have to work out what we render to which kingdom. It may be true that some slightly trigger-happy critics wield Christian nationalism with too broad a brush, hurling the label at any elected official who prays before dinner or evokes God in a speech. That's unfair, but it's also besides the point because Christian nationalism is a real issue. Nearly a third of Americans say that being a Christian is a key part of being an American, according to a 2017 Pew Research survey. Just because some ill-informed people out there are tilting at windmills doesn't mean the threat should be ignored. So yes, Christians should not only reject the label of Christian nationalism, they should actively oppose it, because when Jesus came, it wasn't to make the kingdom he was born into more Christian, but to point the way to another kingdom that isn't of this world. Jesus himself resisted political power when it was offered to him. He had something better planned. It's still in the works for his people too. All we have to do is find it in ourselves to turn from the temptations to worldly powers and accept the far better gift he has in store for us. There's a lot of things I actually do agree with on this article. I do agree. Christian nationalism, you should want that. Even if you are a Christian and you believe in the Christian stuff, I'm generally talking here.
What?
That, yeah. About you people here, all the Christians here, I'm like, you shouldn't necessarily want Christian nationalism. To me, when I hear Christian nationalism, because it was a Margarine Taylor Greene says, I love God and I love my country, which therefore means I am a Christian nationalist. I think she sounds like Forrest Gump. I think that's going to be my new thing. Any Republicans just could be Forrest Gump to me. So the idea is, and let's just think about it here, the Bible says that God says in the Bible, and this is the Ten Commandments, which is supposed to be directly from God. He says that you shouldn't have any other idols before him. And people are not necessarily putting America before God, but they're putting him next to God at the same level, which is one thing I would say is wrong with Christian nationalists. Another thing that I don't like is the idea, let's talk about religion for a second. Take away religion for a second. The idea of when America was founded, because if you actually know how history works, which I don't think a lot of conservatives know how history works, what you'll learn about how history works is that there was so much, like each country had to be a specific religion or sect of Christianity, and no one else could believe in something else or be like that. If, like, say you're a Protestant, but you live in a country where, like, this country is Catholic, and so everyone here is Catholic, but you just believed you want to be Protestant, like, you couldn't do that. And, stuff like that. That's kind of how it started. So when America was founded, they were like, hey, let's all agree that you can worship God or any other gods or be atheist however you want. That's how it is. And so that was kind of the idea of America. And that way it was just kind of like, you know what? We don't have to all follow one religion. We can all just believe whatever the fuck we want to believe. And that's the whole point. But now we're getting to a point with this Christian nationalism bullshit where they're like, we want to live in a nation where the Bible, or at least how we interpret the Bible, dictates how we live our lives. And that's pretty fucking scary, because if you actually read the Bible, you know God's not that cool of a dude. He killed a lot of people. And you're like, God, I'm the Bible of God. He's pro-life. I'm like, God's probably killed a lot more people than anything. Remember that time he flooded the entire fucking earth? I can't imagine there were just like 16 people on Earth and God saved Noah's family and then a couple other people died. Earth was probably pretty populated at that point. A lot of people died. Like, didn't they say like people were knocking on they always interpret it as people like knocking on Noah's boat. Like, let me in. And he's like, fuck no. None of you are allowed in. God said it. God said you're unclean, so you're not allowed in. So, it's hard to say there. More into the Christian nationalism. I actually think I agree with this. I don't think me and what's the fuck this guy's name is, Tyler Huckabee, probably agree on everything, but I think we agree kind of on this. Do you think he is a conservative or a Democrat? You think aren't Democrats not allowed to go to church anymore? Didn't the church like do away with Democrats at church? I thought they were like, if you're a Democrat or an atheist, if you're not Christian and you're a Democrat, you're going to hell. That's what they say. So, here's the thing, people. I know some of you, I'll end it here. I know some of you love America, and you love the Bible, and you love God, and you have a relationship with God, but you also you love living in America too. You know, I like America too, even though I think we have a lot of problems that I wish we could solve, and let's get fucking these 80-year-olds out of fucking office. Let's get some people who are actually going to be alive to reap the rewards of laws they're making, and not like see how they're going to be ruined. Stuff like that. But, you know, I like chocolate. I like pizza. I don't mix the two, though. That's a thing, though. It's okay. It's okay to love your country and to love Jesus. Just don't mix the two, because when you do, scary shit can happen to countries. Christian nationalism is borderline just fascism, and people are like weirdly pro-fascist these days. Like, do you even know what fascism is? It's a pretty big bummer, if you ask me. You're gonna be pretty bummed out when you learn about what fascism is. Just saying. So be cool to your school. Don't do that. And don't play yourself.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Let's take a drink of our margarita. Let's waste away again, folks. In Margaritaville. I'm on my blender. Okay. As my nephew would say.
What you ready to get fucked up?
Woo! That is a good drink. All right. So I wanted to talk about, I'm probably like a week too late. Every other place has already talked about this. But Marvel, the Marvel Studios, the MCU, the movies I love, and I'm like, keep me going when I'm like, oh man, maybe I don't want to be alive anymore. But then it's like, well, you know, Secret Wars comes out in 2025, and the Kang Dynasty, I want to see how this works out, you know. Not everyone's best. Anything that motivates you to stay alive is apparently good for some people.
What?
But, you know, for me, you know, I love all this Marvel stuff, and I love how it's like we're slowly getting to a point where, like, for most of the time, like, every week we have, like, a new Marvel thing. That's what I love about the TV shows. A movie comes out. It's really cool. And so everyone's like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm like, this is sometimes the only thing I have going for me. So what I want to talk about, because they just, like, dropped a ton of shit. The last time Marvel was at San Diego Comic-Con, or last time maybe San Diego Comic-Con really happened, was it was 2019. It was right after Avengers Endgame came out. They just basically revealed everything that's coming out, Phase 4, and they're like, you know what? Everything's shakes. We're working on, like, getting mutants into the MCU, working on the Fantastic Four. Those are coming. Deadpool, like, we're running those coming, so take a look at that. Stuff like that. So that's, you know, they released Phase 4, which is weird. I guess they probably had Phase 4 planned out, like, years before 2019, so that was before they even had the rights back to Fantastic Four. So would have been cool to see the Fantastic Four in Phase 4, but life can't be perfect.
I identify as a fucking threat.
I just wanted to go over kind of what they announced. I pulled up, like, some article by Nerdist, and so I'm just kind of look into everything that's kind of going on with that. They gave a new trailer, or is it really a trailer? Yeah, it's technically a trailer. There's a difference between trailers and teasers, apparently. So we kind of have to, like, and I don't know. Sometimes one is one and one is the other. I don't know. And the whole Spider-Man No Way Home thing, basically you're just, like, waiting for trailers, and I'm just like, just release the fucking trailer. And, like, your expectations of the trailer is like, yeah, I don't know. They could have edited, like, fucking Doctor Doom out of this scene. I don't know. The trailers are, at this point, are like, well, they're not going to put any big reveals in these scenes, so I don't know. They released a trailer to She-Hulk. That's coming out in, like, a couple weeks. I think, like, after my birthday. You know, I'm turning 29 this year. I'm turning 29 very soon. So, yeah, they released that, and let's just say, She-Hulk, you know, Wanda Maximoff, I mean, Brie Larson will always be my mommy, but Wanda Maximoff had mommy vibes for a while, but she was, like, literally a mommy. Like, literally a mommy. Now, Jennifer Walters, especially in the She-Hulk form, mommy. Let's just say that. Like, I hope, like, I saw a meme, I was like, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me. I'm pretty sure She-Hulk is going to awaken things. You're like, you know, when you, like, if you read any She-Hulk stories, you're like, She-Hulk's just a character. Now, like, watching it in, like, live action, I'm like, maybe I'm attracted to, like, taller women, you know? Maybe that's what I'm into. You know, you just watch that shit and you're like, maybe that's what I'm into. Anyways, though, good. I'm really good, and I'm glad they're going with the vibe that it's going to be a comedy, so She-Hulk has always been, like, a comedy. And they released so many fucking, like, cameos just in the trailer alone. They released, so obviously, Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is going to be in it, Elon Blonsky, the Abomination is in the trailer, too. Kind of shows in, you know, an actual form. Frogman, just randomly Frogman. They're like, we're gonna put Frogman in this shit. I'm like, okay, I'll watch anything. It's just a fun. It's not gonna be like, they're not gonna be making a fucking Frogman movie. They make a Frogman movie. I mean, I'm just surprised they're making like an Agatha Harkness series, Coven of Chaos. Like, that's a stretch. Like, because I don't think Agatha Harkness really has many actual stories they could even pull from. They'd have to be. I guess they do all original. I don't know. Frogman, they did Wong, just from fucking, I don't know, just because, like, he was in Shang-Chi with the Abomination. Even that cameo was weird, because that whole cameo part, minus the post-credit scene, was mainly just because Benedict Wong, the actor plays Wong. And let's be honest, it's weird that, like, not weird, but it's kind of a weird coincidence that a character called Wong, and it was established in the comics, his name was Wong. They found an actor, his name is Benedict Wong, who's also co-starring with Benedict Cumberbatch. It's weird. I didn't think Benedict was that good of a name. Anyways, he's in the trailer, and then they revealed Daredevil in the trailer, which was really cool, because I recently decided, I'm like, you know, I haven't seen the season 3 of Daredevil on, you know, that was on Netflix, now on Disney Plus, which is weird. And I was thinking, like, are they going to keep the Netflix thing at the beginning? Nope. They were able to take that out. It's weird that the Netflix shows are on Disney Plus now, but makes sense. So yeah, that's She-Hulk. Already like a million cameos just in that. Oh, Titania too. But that's like another thing. They released the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer. Seemed more like a teaser, but I guess it's saying trailer. The YouTube page is saying trailer, which is really cool. I mean, like, I was kind of thinking that the second Black Panther movie wasn't going to be that good, because they clearly had to have a story already planned out for Black Panther 2, then Chadwick Boseman dying had to be like, I'm not saying, it's an unfortunate situation, I wish he was still alive, but you have to think about it, like, as a business standpoint, like, okay, they basically had almost rewrite the entire movie to make it fit that he died, and there's a new Black Panther and shit. But in the trailer they released that they're doing a kind of like a civil war between Wakanda and, I don't think it's Atlantis, I can't imagine, I don't know what the actual name is going to be for the underwater city. I think it's something a little more Aztec, like, which is cool. Like, it's kind of cool because, like, people say that Namor is Marvel's Aquaman, even though Namor came first, but Aquaman is so different from Namor, and I'm glad they're really sticking to, like, hey, this guy is not like Aquaman at all. And so, yeah. Okay, and so those were like the two trailers they showed. So then they're getting into, and I think those two are going to end those end phase 4. And then we get into phase 5, which is really cool. So I think we're starting with phase 5. I guess they're starting with Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania. By the way, they're calling this the Multiverse Saga, which is already makes sense to be calling it the Multiverse Saga, because, like, first to begin early on in this phase, they had Loki broke the multiverse in that show, released the multiverse, made our multiverse exist again. Then Spider-Man No Way Home had villains and other Spider-Men come from other parts of the multiverse. Then they had Multiverse of Madness, where they introduced America Chavez, who can travel the multiverse, and they went to another multiverse and wanted to kill everyone. So clearly they're setting up for, like, some multiverse type shit. So anyway, 2023, next year, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I guess they did show trailer of that, and Kang is like, oh, you're an Avenger? Have I killed you before? I'm like, Jesus. And then Secret Invasion, that's coming to Disney Plus, which I'm excited for. I'm like, I always thought, because you kind of knew there were going to be a Secret Invasion once they introduced Skrulls into the mix, but they introduced Skrulls as good guys in Captain Marvel, so I'm kind of confused about how they're going to go about that, but Marvel's kind of like the banana stand. There's always money in the banana stand. They'll find a way. Then they're finally going to release Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 after fucking firing James Gunn and then rehiring him. I feel like that script's been sitting around forever, which is weird because this is the only real space, galactic type, outer space type movie kind of coming in the next 2 phases, at least so far. Besides the Marvels, but I doubt those will even connect. And then they're gonna do Echo, which I guess I don't know. Like, she was cool in Hawkeye, but I don't know how they're gonna do that. And they're gonna have Daredevil in it. And so in the comics, Echo can speak normally, but she can't hear. So I don't know how her and Matt Murdock's romance is gonna be a thing. I guess you can read lips, but doesn't it feel weird though? Like, I can see myself. If I could date a deaf person, I just have to learn sign language and shit like that. I could date a blind person. I just have to talk and walk them around places a lot of times. But like a blind person and a deaf person dating is kind of weird. And I don't know how they're gonna do that because the actress who plays Maya Lopez, no, that's the actual name, Becco. Her actress, she actually is deaf in real life, IRL. So, very curious about how that's going to go. I'll still watch it. The Marvels, with my mommy, Brie Larson, Kamala Khan, I guess Monica Rambeau is going to come back to. Kind of curious. I guess they kind of left it with a cliffhanger after the Miss Marvel show. So, super interested. They're doing Loki Season 2. Loki literally has been the best MCU show that has come out. From any of the Disney Plus Marvel shows, Loki has been the best.
And I really like that.
And it's definitely another show that actually builds onto this multiverse saga. So, super cool shit. I'm really excited for that. Blade, super interested in. Hopefully they kind of build on that. Dane Whitman from the post-credit scene of Eternals kind of build out that. Midnight Suns, hoping for that. Midnight Suns, I'm really hoping for that. We got Ironheart. I guess she's getting introduced in Wakanda Forever. Super interested. I hope they do some sort of AI Tony Stark. Like, they have the guy who does the voice on What If, because, like, they're not going to pay Robert Downey Jr. to come back for that. So they could do, like, a cartoonish AI thing for Tony Stark. Hopefully they do something like that to help train her and shit like that. That'd be really cool. Agatha, Coven of Chaos. I don't know if they're going to be really digging a hole for this story, let's be honest. Like, this story is really going to have, or they're really going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel for this. Captain America: New World Order, super excited for that. That's going to be Sam Wilson's movie debut, is it? Which is really cool because, when it was like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then they released the Netflix Daredevil show and stuff like that, you're like, how is this ever going to actually connect to the MCU? And they've already shown that these shows do connect with WandaVision going into a Multiverse of Madness, and now Captain America: New World Order from Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to really affect things too, so that's going to be really cool. The show everyone's now excited about, Daredevil Born Again, was going to do like 18 episodes, going to feature Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, and Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, which is two of the most perfect castings that has ever been made in, like, it's just comic book. Like, those two match perfectly for their respective characters. I would say, though, Ben Affleck did have the correct jawline for Daredevil, but Charlie Cox, perfect Daredevil. He, like, plays the role perfectly. Like, the thing I hated about the Netflix shows, they really didn't do a good job of Matt Murdock as a lawyer as much as I like. Hopefully, Disney's gonna fucking knock it out of the park. Like, they already got him so good in Spider-Man No Way Home. Just like that one scene, he just catches a brick and he's like calm catching a brick, and Peter's like, like, you gotta catch this brick that's coming, and he's like, I'm a really good lawyer. And stuff like that. Then they're going to end this phase with the Thunderbolts, which they have been leading to. I guess they, what was it? Captain America, fucking Falcon and the Winter Soldier, John Walker, and then what was supposed to come before that, Black Widow, post-credit scene with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Like, we knew she was recruiting for something like that. I guess they aren't doing Dark Avengers, and I'm really curious. because call it Thunderbolts because it's Thunderbolt Ross or General Ross. As he was in Captain America: Civil War. He was had small roles in Black Widow, Infinity War, and he was in a scene in Endgame. But William Hurt passed away, so I'm curious. They named the Thunderbolts after his character, who eventually turns into like the Red Hulk. I'm kind of curious how they're gonna do it. I don't think that was planned, but anyways, the Thunderbolts is basically just gonna be like the Dark Avengers and stuff like that. So yeah, and then they're like, let's just tell you what's gonna happen in Phase 6. So they only released 3 titles for Phase 6. The first one, I think, was coming November 2024. The Fantastic Four movie, which they still haven't announced the cast yet. It's being sneaky. I really hope that it's John Krasinski and as Reed Richards and his wife, what's her face, Emily Blunt as Sue Storm. Like, that's just such good casting. They do seem a little bit older than I would like, but I don't know. I'd like maybe a little bit older Reed Richards and Sue Storm. Like, hopefully they're down for it for a while. That's the problem. But also, they're going to do, like, Council of Reeds maybe at some point. And so they bring back everyone who played Reed Richards. And so if they even go with someone else that's not John Krasinski, he still can come back. But he still really is the perfect casting for it. Marvel should put in the money for them. It's weird. Johnny Storm needs to be, like, a bit younger so he can be friends with Spider-Man. And stuff like that. And they're already rumored Jason Segel's playing the Thing, and he's going to be in there in She-Hulk. Interesting shit there. So, yeah, so, we don't know what's true with that. And I wish they would have just announced it. D23 is coming up, so they may be announcing some shit there. Not totally sure. I'm going to take another sip of my margarita, and then, so we can announce what's coming after that.
What you ready to get fucked up?
Okay. And then, I guess, there's a bunch of empty slots, which I guess they're going to announce something as a D23. So I do want to say that. They're probably, D23 this year, they're probably going to announce more. Maybe. Probably more on the lines to, like, more shows expected to come in the future and stuff like that. But I'm expecting somewhere in here they're going to announce a Spider-Man movie. Because, like, I guess with Sony's contract, they have to make a Spider-Man movie every 2 years or how many years or whatever for them to keep the rights to the character. Which, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Like that, maybe they won't. And Marvel can finally get their fucking rights back to it. We're really making good Spider-Man movies. But the problem is that I don't know how many characters they get with the villains and shit like that. That's gonna be weird. Anyways, though, I know a Spider-Man movie's gonna be in there somewhere, but the thing has to be with Sony first, and so they can't just be like, these are all like owned by Marvel Studios, and like Spider-Man isn't, so it's always gonna be that weird fucking situation of like, oh, it's probably just gonna be announced randomly. But they're ending it, which is, I just think this is insane how they're ending this. 2 Avengers movies in 2025, and I guess they're still doing 2 other projects in 2025, but things are likely to change, and I can expect one of these Avengers movies to be pushed to the next year. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. So I guess is it May 2nd? Am I looking at that right? May 2nd. Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. So Jonathan Majors Kang he's shown up at the end of Loki, the first season of Loki, the very last episode. He's probably going to play a role in season 2 of Loki. He's going to be an antagonist, not the main antagonist, I guess one of the antagonists in the new Ant-Man movie that's coming out next February. So, like, he's already being built up. He was already in Phase 4. He's going to have some parts in Phase 5. He could make a role in the Fantastic Four in Phase 6. He's clearly going to be a big role in the Kang Dynasty. And then May, they're doing that. And then November, they're doing Avengers Secret Wars, which Avengers Secret Wars, we don't know, there's like 2 Secret Wars. I'm going to explain them horribly. But the first one was like, the Beyonder was like, I wonder what happens if all these heroes fought each other. And so he put them all in this battle world, and they all fought each other. It wasn't okay, but that's where Spider-Man originally got the symbiote suit, the Venom symbiote suit, and that was popular, so that's one thing that's cool. The other one was, I think, 2015. It's been a while since I read it, so I'm going to be a little bit with it, but an incursion happens, but Doctor Doom somehow stops the incursion, or creates the incursion, creates a battle world where each individual lands are like one specific country and stuff like that, and then heroes fight each other, heroes and villains fight each other, and stuff like that. You can read those stories. It's really good stories. At least the Johnny 15 one is really good. But I'm not sure how Marvel's going to do it. I always thought it's going to be weird how they do it. I bet Kang's going to be at the center of all of it, and they have to defeat Kang at the end of it. It's going to be very interesting. It's clearly setting it up to be like a 2-part thing. I think it'd be awesome if they could set up how Peter Parker can get the symbiote suit. I always thought the idea of the next one, because he's not gonna have like a nice tech suit made by Tony Stark or whatever, but he'd be like, man, he has a homemade suit, and he's like, man, I miss my old suit, stuff like that, and eventually, like near the end of it, he gets the symbiote suit, goes into Secret Wars and stuff like that, and then the next one's like a Venom Spider-Man type movie or something like that. That'd be really cool. Anyways, though, I think that's everything that happened at San Diego Comic-Con with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the shit I love. I'm super interested to see. I'm expecting a lot of these dates to change. I'm definitely betting that Avengers Secret Wars gets pushed back, like gets delayed. I'm 100% betting that. So you got to take a drink. You got to take a shot. If Avengers Secret Wars gets pushed to 2026, okay? You got that? You got that?
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Have you ever cracked open a cold one with the boys? The vibes are on, then all of a sudden, you are out of cold ones? Though the vibes are still on, the vibes will soon go off because you are out of cold ones. There's no need to drive when you're under the vibes. That's why today's sponsor, Drizly, is here to make sure that the vibes continue. Drizly gets all your favorite beer, seltzer, wine, whiskey, and much more delivered directly to your home. With their easy-to-use mobile app, we are getting one step closer to never leaving our homes. You know it's saying something when it's being praised as the Amazon for liquor. Drizly is my go-to app for getting all the booze I need so I can do other things. So using our link in the description today, you can save $5 off your first purchase through Drizly. Drizly has proprietary ID verification technology that it provides to its retail partners that allows drivers to scan IDs for more than a barcode to make sure the purchaser is over 21 years old in the US and of legal drinking age in Canada. Retailers on Drizly may have a minimum order or delivery fee. So using our link in the description, get $5 off your first order with Drizly. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. You're not a boomer who still goes to what our ancient civilizations called a store. You buy everything on the internet like a modern individual. What if I could tell you that you could be saving more on your purchases by only making a few clicks on your computer? That's where today's sponsor, Honey, will change your life. Honey is a free browser extension you can download using the link in our description of this episode. Honey searches the entire internet for promo code, coupon codes, free shipping, and anything else that will save you money when buying things online. It's 100% free, and at no point will you have to pay for it with all of those many microtransactions. It's as simple as pressing a single button and you can start saving money. Not using Honey is basically throwing money away that could be saved for more important things. I recently had to get business cards for myself, and Honey literally saved me 60% on a pack of 500 business cards. It was amazing. Add the Honey extension to your browser today for free by using the link in our description of this episode. And when you use our links, you directly support this show. All right, so it's time. It's time for another segment of Ask Schweezy, the part of the show where I, Schweezy, answer all of your questions, all the ones that you seem to have problems with, and all the ones that I seem to know all the answers to. And it's a brutal game living like this. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? But no, we'll answer your questions for you. So anyways, though, yeah, let's just fucking jump into it. I don't think I have anything else I want to fucking say. Okay. Our first question we got here today. Would artificial insemination be considered a sin in the Christian faith? Very, very interesting question. So, in the Christian faith, what I grew up with was the Christianity I grew up with. They said no sex before marriage, and no cheating on your, and I guess no cheating on your wife and stuff like that. Then when I grew up and actually read the Bible, I think the Bible only says to not covet your neighbor's wife. That's like the big thing it says. Because, and then they be like, oh, marriage between a man and a woman. Like, well, how many wives did King David have? How many wives did King Solomon have? And you could find some other kings. How many wives do they have? And you're like, is that traditional marriage? And then you're like, well, the traditional marriage is what they made up. So, yeah, so if you can justify having multiple wives, men can justify having one husband. That's a little bit of a lifestyle I'm willing to accept. So that's a good thing. So artificial insemination, is it? Now, artificial insemination, is that like artificially made semen? Is that a thing? Because I don't know. I thought that this was about like using someone else's jizz to make a baby. I don't think that's the case. That's what I assume this was about. And you know, because a lot of Bible people like to come at me with shit, I thought I would use the Bible for them. So I've been seeing this verse a lot lately, and it's made me laugh many times. So I thought I would bring it up. Then Judah said to Onan, lie with your brother's wife and fulfill your duty to her as a brother-in-law to produce offspring for your brother. But Onan knew that the offspring would not be his, so whenever he lay with his brother's wife, he spilled his semen on the ground to keep him from producing offsprings for his brother. What he did was wicked in the Lord's, trademark, sight. So he put him to death also. Genesis 38, 8 through 10. So that's the thing. And that's why I guess some people are like against birth control, which I've never gotten the whole birth control like debate, because theoretically, if you're the idea like the Christians out there, the reason why some of them are against birth control is because people will have, let's whisper here, premarital sex. And that's not a cool thing, apparently. So it's like it's not cool to have premarital sex, but it's okay to cheat on your wife with someone else. That's apparently okay, as long as you're rich. So, moving on here, we see brother's wife and fulfill your duty as her. So I guess I remember the story was about like, I guess a brother agreed to get his wife pregnant because he couldn't get her pregnant. That way the offspring would be kind of him, like that. But the guy was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So he kept having sex with his brother's wife and then just jizzing on the floor. Imagine, like, so did you get her pregnant? Yeah. You walk in the room, you just see jizz on the floor. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Anyways, though, you know, people are like, you have to take the Bible literally. And so, if I'm going to take the Bible literally, what I'm going to do is say that God doesn't want you jizzing on the floor. He wants you to jizz on her tits, if anything. So, that's how I interpret this. And, you can't tell me I'm wrong. I'm reading the Bible correctly. So, anyways, is artificial insemination considered a sin in the Christian faith? I mean, if another guy's fucking a woman to get her pregnant, that could be considered a sin. However, what you're talking about, like, you know, like using someone else's sperm to like impregnate a woman, that wasn't in the Bible. I mean, it kind of was, but not the way we're doing it now. Like the way is like, you don't have to fuck my wife. It's okay. That's explained. That should be explained normally to most people. How are nose rings compatible with nose blowing? Okay, so someone doesn't know how fucking nose rings work, which is okay because I got my nose pierced. But I don't know how well it actually comes on camera. Mine's always very subtle, and not a lot of people notice it. Like spot on the first time. So, this is something I didn't realize when I got my nose pierced back in 2018. So, I assumed, because I think with earrings, because the only one, my mom has the earrings and she just takes them off at night and shit like that. Like, no one wears those gigantic ass hoop earrings at night. No one does. And remember, ladies, the bigger the hoops, the hotter it is for men. So, you know, like, they take them out at night. But I didn't realize that if you have a nose ring, you just leave that shit in all the time and stuff like that. And if you take it out, like, you got to put it back in pretty quickly or the hole's gonna, like, go away, stuff like that. I know that's what, like, gauges in the ears. You leave them permanently, but those, like, really stretch out your ears and shit like that. So the nose ring, if it's an actual piercing, it's just going to stay in your nose forever. So when I actually blow my nose, like I have just a normal one on the side. Septum's a little different too, but really, I mean, you have to work around it when you're blowing your nose. But for the most part, the booger comes out all the same if it's not trying to struggle for life. If you have a booger problem, nose piercings may not be for you. I also don't know a lot of people with booger problems. To be honest with you, like, I usually get them once a day, and I blow them out in the shower and pick them. Let's be honest here, if you're not fucking actually picking your nose, like, digging in there with the finger to try to get the booger out, you're fucking lying to me. You can't tell me, I'm going to blow my nose. Like, no, your fingers are better. Now, how you dispose of it is the thing that makes you a man or a boy. But don't tell me, like, I always blow it out. I never stick my finger in there and get it out. That's, like, the best way to get that shit out of your fucking nose, okay? So don't at me on that. So, yeah. But blowing your nose rings compatible with nose snout, like the septum. If you have multiple piercing on your nose, it could affect things. Because, like, I do the blow thing. Like, I put my on the stem thing of your nose and then blow and then kind of opens it up and then things come out or it gets pretty close in. Then you can dig in and try to pull it out. But for the most part, yeah, it's not really an issue with that. I know the stud's definitely not doing anything at all. The stud's just, like, there, barely pierced into your nose. So you shouldn't necessarily have a problem. Now, if you do have, like, a fake piercing put in your nose, which I realize I could have just fucking done. I could have just done that, but now I like the nose piercing. It feels me now. I've had it since... I've actually had it for, like, almost 4 years now. In September, it'll be 4 years. Having a nose piercing is so cool. Makes my mom upset. That's the dream here. Makes your mom upset. I think my brother wants to get his ears pierced. My mom was upset about it. Like, I got my nose pierced, and I didn't hear any complaint about it. And when he was like, Mom hates it. I was like, well, I also like upsetting her. So that's another thing I enjoy doing a lot. So, yeah. Anyways, though, if your parent hates, like, a piercing, and, like, a piercing that, like, you could probably still have a normal job with if you have, don't go fucking, like, million fucking piercings on your face. Like, don't do that shit. But, like, normal piercings that you can still have a job afterwards, like, do that, because it makes my mom upset, and that makes me happy when she's upset. Making my mom upset is my favorite thing. And so yeah, continue to do that for me. Continue to make my mom upset, and a nose ring won't have any effect on the way you blow your nose, FYI. Will I ever get a boyfriend if I'm overweight? At this point, I am pretty comfy in my own body. Obviously, as a chubbier girl, I still do have my bad days, but it's not something that's ruining my life at this point. I've never had any type of romantic interaction with anyone should I change myself so I can find myself a partner. Due to today's age and social media, life has made me believe that I'll never have a chance with anyone if I don't fit the beauty standards. I really want to find myself a relationship, but I feel that my weight is holding me back from that, due to men not being attracted to someone of my size. Then, should I spend the time to try to lose the weight so I can find a partner? Thank you. So, first of all, I want to say that ladies, something I always like to say to all the ladies out there, you're a fetish to someone. You are a fetish to someone. Just because you're a bigger girl, there's a lot of guys out there who are into bigger girls. I heard someone's like, man, Lizzo is like the perfect one. I'm like, because I'm not that much into bigger girls. But just because I'm not that big myself, I'm a little chubby, but I'm not a fucking giant. I think if a girl's, it's just different when a woman's bigger than you. So then when, he's like, oh, Lizzo's so hot. I'm like, okay, I guess he's into like chubbier girls. But anyways, so yeah, there are guys out there, they're chubby chasers. You could easily find an internet forum and get yourself a long distance relationship, or even someone close to you. To be honest with you, that's fine. But you're at a point in your life, you're like, I'm comfy with my own body, but you're also self-conscious that you're never going to be able to find yourself a partner or a relationship unless you lose all this weight. In my mind, when you say something like that, like, oh, I can't ever find a relationship unless I lose this weight unless I do something or stuff like that. Should I do this to get into a relationship? Like, part of me is like, hey, don't change yourself for a relationship. That's not something you should be doing. But also at the same time, I feel as if you have a little bit of, you're a little self-conscious about how you necessarily look in regards to your weight and stuff like that. So in my mind, it doesn't seem that you are actually comfortable in your own body, because if you were comfortable in your own body, you wouldn't give a fuck about what men think. Like, you wouldn't really give a shit about what men think about you. You'd be fine in your own body and be like, if he doesn't like it, fuck him. And that's his problem. So to me, in my mind, the way you've kind of phrased this, you say you're comfortable in your own body, but you were willing to change yourself for a man. So, you could either just, stay the way you are and say, hey, look, this is the package. This is what I'm going to look like. I probably can't get fatter than this, fingers crossed. But at the same time, if you feel like you need to change yourself for a relationship, it's not necessarily a good thing. Now, saying that, though, I'm always an advocate for saying, like, hey, losing weight's a good thing. Do that. Go for that. And, if you really have to ask yourself, like, in this situation, like, how, like, you're like, oh, maybe if I, like, want to be skinny, I'll be having my body. Like, well, if you lose the weight, one thing that's going to help you out is you're going to feel a lot more confident about yourself and a lot more happy with your body. Because you say you're comfortable, but are you really, if you're making a post like this and saying that, like, oh, I'm not that comfortable in my own body, I want to be skinnier so I can actually find myself a partner and stuff like that. So that's the thing. So what you either need to do, here are the options I would say you need to do. You either need to be go full throttle on this, and actually say, yeah, I'm comfortable in my body, and I want to find a man who likes me for my body and who I am, yada, yada, yada. Because those guys are out there. There's a lot of guys out there who do that. Every woman out there is a fetish to someone. So you either do that and say that, or you do some work on yourself and say, hey, I'm going to lose some weight and learn to really like myself, actually like who I am, what my body is, like my body for who it is. And once I kind of feel confident in what I am, then, a partner will come along and see that confidence and like that confidence and like it is. So really, I feel like one of the big things you have to understand is, are you actually comfortable with your body? And, it's okay to not be comfortable with your body, but at the same time, one thing, everyone hates their body. That's something I would say we all can mutually agree on. But the thing is, when you're like, I'm uncomfortable with my body, but there's a thing, like, can I change this? And most of it's like, yes, because, plastic surgery is a thing, but I'm not trying to talk about that. Well, there's like, yeah, I have a lot of body fat on my body. I could easily lose some weight and, like, go to the gym, go on a good diet, like, really try to discipline myself and go on a diet and do that. That way I can my body can at least get to a point where I am feeling pretty confident about it. And, if you're not actually feeling confident about your body, do it. And, there's things you can't change. And to be honest, there's some things like the opposite sex doesn't actually care about, in your body. So I guess that would be my advice to you in regards to that. If you are comfortable in your body and you are fine with it, find someone who likes that. If you're not, put some work in, just try some discipline and at least be fine with overall, just be fine with your body yourself. Because if you're not comfortable with your body yourself, don't expect someone else to like it. If you don't like your body, don't expect someone else to like it. So either do the work or just kind of get over the fact of that shit, if that makes sense. So let's have another drink here, boys. All right, here's feeling good all the time. Okay. Ooh, that was sour. It was just sour. I liked it. It was just sour. Fake boobs? Question mark. I have really small boobs, and as a joke, I asked my boyfriend for fake ones. Instead of reassuring me, he just said it was too expensive, lol. I keep trying to get him to say that I am okay the way I am, giving him hints on how to give me compliments, but now it's just, let's get money for those fake boobs. Do you guys dislike small boobs? Is having fake ones better? I don't know. I don't know what you look like, so I'm gonna say first of all, because I like a good pair of boobs, but there's also it's like you're explaining to like a young child, like, you know what, boobs are great, but you know what's more important? The woman behind the boobs. And sometimes you find that one woman behind the boobs that you just love. Like, that's like a conversation you have with a child about like sex ed. Be like, you know, sometimes you find that special pair of boobs, shit like that. So I don't know. It's weird because I guess I'm technically an ass man because that's what ex-girlfriends and ex-hookups have told me. Apparently, I'm an ass man. So I don't know if I'm the best one to do this, but you know, when you see like a very skinny, petite woman and she has small boobs, I'm like, it works for her. You know, it works for her. And like, if she got fake boobs, it wouldn't work out. Like I said, I don't know who you are who asked this question. Then you find out, and you like, it's just different body types. You know, I'm more of a big fan of boobs matching the body type, and at the same time, I guess I don't care that much about boobs. But I guess if someone really cares about boobs, it's a different thing. But also at the same time, like a good natural pair of boobs. Like, have you seen Sydney Sweeney's boobs? Like, I don't watch Euphoria, but I heard she was topless on that. I'm like, I gotta see these boobs. And I'm not like trying to disrespect her or anything. I'm just like, yeah, boobs out there. I want to look at them. And she got paid for that shit. I don't feel guilty. I look at her, I'm like, God damn, those are nice boobs. Like, that's nice. Those are nice boobs on a nice woman, and you know, stuff like that. Probably gonna sag later in life. That's another thing though. Boobs sag later in life. And, yeah, if you've ever hooked up with an older woman, what you will know is that those boobs will start to sag, and they're not as nice when they sag, but like when you don't have big boobs and stuff like that, they're not really going to sag. Some women's boobs don't sag, and so you have to get breast implants. And breast implants, some guys are okay with them, but me, I don't know, to me, it's not the same. I'd just rather have some hungry tits than some just fucking fake boobs that probably aren't done very well. You see the fucking scar from when the incision was made, and it's just like, it's not the same. I don't know, it's not the same. So, you know, if you have really small, you know, I would just say, ladies, be comfortable with your boobs. Men will probably like them for the most part, but if a guy's like, oh, I hate small boobed women, don't date those guys. Those guys are probably Republicans for the most part. Republicans are the ones really who have the boob thing. Liberal men, we have like trying not to burp. Liberal men, we like asses. So do some squats. You can get a big, nice ass. I don't know. Do men not approach women in public anymore, or am I just ugly? More ugly. SpongeBob. I don't really go to bars or clubs, so are dating apps my only option? You know, I actually deleted all the dating apps on my phone. I wasn't really using them for the most part. I'm not in Nashville right now. I'm with my mom. But at the same time, though, like, I was on there, and you learn the statistics, and it's like 75% of the people on dating apps are men. 25% are women. That's not including fake or bot accounts. So it's just too many men and not enough women participating on it. And then a lot of women are just on there for attention and shit like that. Stuff like that. It's not good. So, actually, no, as a woman, you might have some success on some dating apps and stuff like that. But you know, do men not approach women in public anymore? I don't know what you look like, so, I mean, a good question for me is send me a picture of you, and I will answer, am I ugly? And I will actually give you the honest truth. You know, Kevin Samuels died, and I feel like I can take his place, but I'd probably be a little bit nicer than he was. You think you're a 10? You know, I don't think you're ugly, but, like, you know, maybe you're not a 10. That's how I do it. Kevin Samuels was like, you think you're a 10? Be realistic. 7? No. God. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Miss you, buddy. You made me laugh a lot. So, yeah, I don't know. You don't really go to clubs or bars, so it sounds like you have anxiety. So, one thing I learned that people with anxiety are the ones who navigate towards dating apps also to begin with. And so, it's just like you don't have any charisma to meet people in public, so you're trying to meet people online. And that's why you get ghosted online, because you just don't have you just have fucking anxiety. So, do men approach women in public anymore? Here's the thing. Like, a good man really doesn't want to be like the guy who's like, because cancel culture happened and we're like, I don't want to be sexually harassing women. And so, like, you think, like, if you approach a woman in public, you're scared. Be like, are you sexually harassing me? You're just like, hey, nice shoes. You're sexually harassing me. So guys are a little nervous more. You know what I will say, though? I feel like ladies, you know, if you see a guy who looks like he's not going to murder you, feel free to go up and talk to him. That's sometimes how I've gotten lucky, because I am not threatening at all. I've not been a threatening experience to anyone, unless you're playing music. Then some people are a little scared of me. But that's who I am. That's who I'm. This is the type of guy you get. And I don't have that sound drop on here. What the fuck, Joe? There we go. I've been addicted to zero sugar Coke and Pepsi for 3 months. Will I be okay? After reading all the terrible side effects and long-term health problems of these ingredients, I am concerned. There have been days where I've drank up to 6 to 9 cans, but usually average 2 or 3. Definitely going to quit now, but am just a little worried if I did some damage to myself. So, I'm no scientist. Fucking thing. Anyways, though, from what I learned about because basically, you want to know what zero sugar soda is. Basically, there's like an artificial sweetener in there. I don't know the exact product. I know there's one in Diet Coke. People are like, this is so bad for you. And with the one in Diet Coke, it's like, yeah, it's bad for you if you drink like a truck's worth of that shit straight. But like, if you drink just Diet Coke, and like, I'll have a couple of these, like 3, if you like 3 a day, 3 Diet Cokes a day is not going to kill you. 3 Coke Zero, 3 Pepsi Max is not what it's called. And that shit's not going to kill you. Like, that shit's not going to kill you. So you can rest easy on that. So 6 to 9 is probably a little too much because, I don't know, you should be trying to mix in water or like a drink with more like health benefits to it. I enjoy coffee, when I wake up. And then, I'll drink 1 or 2, 3 Diet Cokes or something like that. Then try to drink water. Somehow drink alcohol throughout that, which is not good either. So, don't. Maybe I'm probably not the person to be answering this. What I'll say is I remove the fucking straw from the screen. What I'll say though is that, I think zero sugar Coke and Pepsi products, I do think they're okay with you. You shouldn't drink a ton of that shit every day. Like, I think Donald Trump drank like at least 12 plus Diet Coke cans a day, and I'm like, that's not good. That can't be good for anyone. But like, if you did 2 or 3, I drink like a can with dinner, and and people are like, maybe you shouldn't drink that shit at all. It's like, well, some people have fucking diabetes, and if they want to like treat themselves, like a Diet Coke is good for them. Like, even people are like, zero sugar products are so bad, and they're fat phobic. I'm like, they're not fat phobic. Some people have fucking diabetes. Calm the fuck down, and shit like that. So, don't be stingy in regards to that. Just drink like maybe 3 a day. You'll be fine. Like, my mom has been drinking that shit for years, and I've been drinking it a lot lately, and you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't be stingy. Every time I press that, it's just a good laugh, right? Should I drink more margarita? You want to drink a little bit more margarita? Margaritaville. Wasting away again in Schweezyville. I'm going to drink the straw. Oh, sorry. We didn't do this right. Get that off screen. Shake off the sourness. All right. Here we go. Final question of the evening. What's so great about summer? It's hot. It's miserable. Sweaty. All around soul-sucking the energy out of you. Pounding headaches. You get swamp ass. You start to smell. Your clothes start to smell. You use cumin for deodorant. What the fuck? Spend too much time out in the sun, you start burning up and end up looking like you're 45 when you're only 25. So, I guess this is a fun warning because I've been seeing this warning out everywhere. But they say that you shouldn't drink. People on antidepressants, like, one problem of it is that you do get pretty sweaty pretty quickly, and I didn't see the one I was on the list, but it does make me goddamn fucking sweaty. And, like, I have to, like, live my life around the shit because it's either trying to kill myself and have panic attacks, or be sweaty. And so I know someone's like, just stop taking it. I'm like, it's either panic attacks or fucking be sweaty. And so don't fucking tell me. I went to a doctor. I know what the fuck I'm doing. But yeah, no. Summer's so great. So there's a lot of reasons why people think summer's great. One, because winter weather can be pretty miserable if you live in the wrong places for winter, and then in the summer it's like nice, you can be outside. And you know, people have generally said anytime you're outside is like it's great. It's great weather. I don't think hot is good weather, and I agree with you in that. I think what people think so great about summer is, you know, when you're a kid, you're out of school for the summer, so that's one of the benefits. And so it's just having fun all year round. You're not working a job, so all you're doing is just having fun, doing that fun ass shit. And it's weird because you think like, why do we have to have our summer, or you know, like a break in the summer? Well, it has to do something with farming. Like a lot of the U.S. scheduling has to do with farming. You'd be surprised how much shit is just because of farming. Like, why do we vote on Tuesdays? Well, it would take people an entire day to leave their farms to head to the polling station. That way, and so they needed it to be on Tuesday. Like, it's because of farming. Why are we off in the summer? It's because of farming and shit like that. And I remember watching 90 Day Fiancé, and it was like a season or two ago. It was like Julia and Brandon are the couple. And Brandon lived on a farm, and Julia came to live on the farm with them. She woke up at like noon and decided to feed the animals. And then her neighbor, who was kind of a bitch, she was like, the animals have to be fed every day at 7 a.m. They have to be fed at 7 a.m. I'm like, you know, I'm feeding the animals. Sounds like the animals are going to be fed whenever the fuck I want them to be fed. That's realistic. Why they would say it needs to be fed like early in the morning is because back in the day, you'd have to wake up early in the morning. That way your kids could go to school and still help you on the farm and stuff. That's why stuff like that. So weirdly, a lot of things still revolve around farming, which farmers are bad. Farmers are great. I would never say anything bad about farmers because why would you shame people who help the world get, like the United States, get food and other places get food? That's weird. Cumin for deodorant, I don't know what the fuck you're saying there. I've never used cumin for deodorant. I used Degree for Men. And also, here's a sad thing. My dad died. Everyone take a drink if you're playing the drinking game. But, like, in his bathroom drawer, he had an unused stick of, like, a deodorant, the same deodorant I use. And I ran out, and I was like, it's not a bad thing I take this shit, right? Anyways, that's off topic. So, yeah, no, I think the main thing about summer is that it's this idea of, like, you're out of school, and life is yours, you're young, you're free, go on adventures, have the time of your life. That's what's great about summer. It's not necessarily the weather. When you think about the weather of summer, you're like, this fucking sucks. Like, I had to drive a friend around someday, I had to cook, I had to grill outside, it was fucking miserable. Heat index of like 100, it was miserable. But the idea, you have to think of the idea of summer, it was like, school's out, party time, Greece, you know, all that fun stuff, you know, we do in the summer, not like the actual weather, because when you think about that, you're going to be fucking miserable, especially since we're destroying our own fucking planet in regards to that. So that's a great way to think about it, and as also... Anyways, though, that's how we're ending today's episode of Cancel Schweezy. Thank you for listening to what we call the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Follow me on social media at TheSchweezy everywhere. My music under Schweezy, just take that cancel out, spelled exactly the same. Twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. Connect your Amazon Prime account. Get Twitch Prime. Help financially support the show without spending any extra money than you already have with your Amazon Prime. You also can support us on Patreon, which is a glorified tip bucket, which is a great way to say thank you for being a friend and really help me get on with what I'm doing. And then, let's not forget our free shit that we can do, that you can, if you're listening to the show audio only, make sure you hit that. Go to YouTube, hit the subscribe, leave us a comment, and share our highlights with all your friends and family, the ones that really infiltrated your heart. And obviously, if you're audio only, make sure you leave a review and give us a 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1-star rating. So, let's end this the only way I know how to end things. Honk if you love butt drugs. And stay awesome. Believe it or not, Schweg isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out or I'd pick up the phone. Where could I be? Believe it or not, I'm not home. You just finished a full episode of Cancel Schweezy. You are now one of the smartest individuals who will ever exist in our world. If you like that episode, make sure you subscribe. Whether you're watching this show or listening to the show, make sure you subscribe. That way you get notified whenever we release full new episodes as well. And if you're on YouTube, smash that bell button. That way you get notified anytime we make a post over here on YouTube. Honk if you love butt drugs, and yeah, stay awesome.